What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another update of my Canadian Dividend Investing Portfolio series here on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, I am an amateur Canadian investor buying and selling stocks on the Toronto Stock Exchange using Wealthsimple Trade to buy and sell the stocks and tracking everything in this custom Google Sheet that I made. That gives me a lot of information about the performance of my portfolio. So if you're interested in trying out the Google Sheet or Wealthsimple Trade, there are links in the description below. But otherwise, let's get into my portfolio and what has been going on lately. So I'm still hovering around basically no gain or loss, like less than 1%. So this is pretty much negligible. The overall account balance is sitting around $84,700 with about $1,400 in cash. And so far I've received just over $10,000 in dividends. So that's interesting. I'm not up $10,000 because if you look at the amount that I put in, which is my net deposits and my total current balance, it's just off by 500. So that means that overall in general, my stock balances, the stock price has decreased, but I've received dividends. And so I'm pretty much where I started, which is not what I was expecting. But anyways, that's where I'm at for now. The overall yield of the account is 4.84%, which means that I'm getting an annual dividend income, which is tax-free and passive, of just over $4,000 per year, which is great. That works out to be about $336 per month. And as you can see, it's not always exactly that. We get one good month followed by 2 bad months always, and I'm kind of in this cycle. So for June, not expecting too much, but the next month, July, should be a pretty good one. When we look at my portfolio here, we can see roughly what's going on. I'll just filter this so we put the winners at the top. A few things are going to jig around a little bit. The nice thing about this spreadsheet is you can sort it in lots of different ways. So for example, I can group things by sector if I want, and I can look at all of the utilities and the real estate, industrials, whatever. I could go in alphabetical if I wanted to, but I find two of the most useful views for me is one, putting the biggest holdings at the top to understand what is my biggest position. Right now it's Waste Connections, which is awesome because Waste Connections actually just hit an all-time high again. We can look in here at the Sparkline tab. So this also organizes in the same order that whatever the portfolio tab is on. And here we can see Waste Connections just doing really, really well. So that's awesome to see. And followed by some other big holdings of mine. And then the other way that I like to, you can also see the smallest holdings down here, just to throw that out there. And then the other thing that I like to do is sort it by the biggest percent gain and loss to see what the biggest winners are and the biggest losers. And these two views kind of help me wrap my head around most quickly what's going on. For example, I could also maybe sort by dividend yield if you're really interested in that. And oh my God, AP.UN, 11.5%. That's bananas. One of my worst performing stock, actually, down 61%. Great. Whereas you look at some of these other ones with very tiny dividend yields, like, I'll talk about Bitfarms in a second, but Waste Connections, ATD, and they're some of my best performing stocks. So that's a cool thing about using a spreadsheet like this is you can really get a good idea about what's going on in your portfolio. Much more detailed than what I'm getting out of Wealthsimple Trade. So speaking of Wealthsimple Trade, let's pop in there and take a look at what I've received in what's happened in my tax-free savings account recently. And what I haven't logged yet is these dividends from June 13th. So first of all, let's pop these into the spreadsheet. And that's going to go into the transactions tab. Sorry, not the transactions tab, the dividends tab. And I've already scrolled down here to the very bottom, so I'm just going to drop these in one at a time. And once that's in, it's always super annoying that Granite gives 2 different payments in the same day. Don't know what's up with that. But anyways, when you go back to the summary tab, we can see here that the total amount of dividends that I've received has gone up in general, in the total for the whole portfolio of all times, and also for the month. So everything is tracking in here correctly. That's the thing with the spreadsheet is at the beginning of the video, the spreadsheet was a little bit out of date. And what I need to do is I need to go into Wealthsimple. I need to grab all of the most current information and bring it in. So I've just grabbed all the dividends that I haven't done yet. The next thing was on June 14th, I made a couple market buys. So I bought a few more shares of ATD. I got a couple shares here of Fortis, and I also got a couple shares here of RioCan. So again, I want to come into the spreadsheet and I want to now go to the transactions tab, and I want to scroll all the way down to the bottom here. And I want to log each of these 3 transactions that I did. And because I didn't pay any trading fees in the currency that I paid in was Canadian dollars, I can just drag that down from the previous ones. And then I just want to check that the totals added up to what I had in Wealthsimple, and those check out to equal it. So the other thing that you're going to see in here in Wealthsimple was the last thing I did, which was a limit sell of Bitfarms. Bitfarms has been an interesting one for me. So we can take a look here. I had a limit sell at $4.20. If we just pop back into the portfolio tab, we can take a look at before I log that in here. We can see what it was sitting at before. And Bitfarms is actually somehow one of my best performing stocks. Up 29% since I bought them. That's at the close at the end of today. My limit sell cleared before close, so I sold actually at 420, not 434. It's all good. I had just kind of put it in there. I didn't really expect it to trigger, but it did. But you can see here, so I jumped up. My average price was 336 on those, and I sold for 420, so I went up 84 cents per share, which is about 25% of realized gain, which is great. And when we come in here, let's actually just log this. So it was TSE Bitfarms. That was also June 17th that it triggered, 2024. I sold 600. Sorry, this is the buy column over here. I sold 600. And then in here, it's prompting us the average price at time of sale. So what you want to do if you're using the spreadsheet is before you do anything else, pop back into the portfolio tab, come to the stock that you're selling, grab the average price and copy. You can press Control-C or right-click copy, and then come back into the transactions tab. And here you want to paste it by value. So right-click, press paste special and values only. This is going to preserve all of the decimal places, which I can show you. There's actually nice. That was pretty clean. Sometimes it's just like a never-ending list of decimal places, but this preserves it and keeps the calculation correct. So anyways, that was the average price at time of sale. And let's check Wealthsimple one more time. I believe I sold them at, yeah, exactly 420. So 4.20 was the sale price. And we're going to drag this down because, again, no trading fees, and it was in Canadian dollars. So we can see here that I sold for the $2,520. Now, the cool thing about this is I just realized about 25% on that trade. It's like, I guess, a swing trade, because just recently I did it before as well. I had actually sold. I've been doing it a little bit with them. Where did they go? Yeah, no, I think this is where we want to look. Before I had a bunch that I sold at a small profit. I sold at 451 and my average price was 432 on them. This is back in February. And then shortly after that, I rebought them again at a lower price of 336. And now a couple months later, I'm selling that chunk again at a profit. So here I'm swing trading, which for some reason is performing way better than my actual dividends. It's a shame because I just brought in a realized gain of $500 on that trade, because let me see where we can see this, because yeah, I went up 84 cents on 600 shares. So that's about $504. But when I look at that's awesome. That's a very good performance for me. But then when I look at my summary page, I'm only up 400 overall because a lot of my other stocks have just gone down. So I like dividend investing. I like the passive income that it can create, but some part of me really loves swing trading as well. I've been lucky with Bitfarms. I've had a lot of successful swing trades with them, sometimes in the tax-free savings account, but not so much in here, and a couple times in my non-registered, but usually smaller amounts. But I don't know. I've been having fun with them and success so far, but it's also pretty risky. Sometimes, like when I bought them here, let's actually pull them up on Yahoo Finance. And if we pop them in, so I bought them in February 14th or something? No, that's when I sold. Anyways, they went down, and for a little while I was like sitting at an unrealized loss, and then I sold. So this stock is all over the place, and I have some fun playing with that. But anyways, just something that I felt like sharing because, yeah, it's not all dividend stocks in here. Every now and then I do try these swing trades. So anyways, when we look at the portfolio tab, I guess now that Bitfarms is no longer one of my holdings, I can remove them. So if you have the spreadsheet and you want to remove a position, What I would recommend doing is put your percent of holdings, put the biggest ones at the top, which is going to force the one that you just sold out of to the bottom. And then here is just select the blue cells only, press delete, and it's going to pop it out. Now to get this blank line out of your selection, you can't see it based on how I'm recording my screen right now, but there's a little filter button. It says up here, remove filter. So I'm just going to click remove filter, click anywhere in the table, and just add the filter back in. And then here we go, we've cleared out that line. So anyways, looking at the summary tab now, now this is totally up to date. We can see that I actually have $3,700 in cash. That's because now I have that cash available that I had sold out from Bitfarms. And all the dividends are up to date, and those couple stocks that I also bought a few days ago are up to date as well. So now this is good. Going forward, I have a bunch of money in here that I will be able to spend and buy some new shares, and I'm going to be monitoring the markets and deciding what to go ahead with there. So anyways, guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you found this interesting, do hit the like, hit the subscribe, and consider trying out the spreadsheet. The links are in the description below. You might like it for your portfolio as well. All right, peace. See you in the next one.